Hi everybody and welcome back to MD Fly Fishing. Well, what is black and white and catches fish? Well, it's not an otter dressed as a penguin with a big net. It's these simple black buzzers. Crispbag buzzer, white flash, and a vicar buzzer with a white collar, both made out of crispbag. And I fished them basically on an 8-foot leader, one on the point and one at about 3.5 foot. Therefore I covered the first 4 foot of water and the bottom 4 foot of water underneath that. You can fish them with an indicator or just let the end of the line drift them flies through the water. I only had a couple of hours this morning. That's all I used, that's all I took with me. I did find a fly, I used it and I caught a fish, but that's at the end. Anyway, let's crack on with it. So on this occasion, trout took the crispbag buzzer. Usually crispbag buzzers use the red or the orange or bright colours of certain varieties of Doritos, but on this one I used the white from a Seabrooks bag. Very effective. This was a point fly at the time. I was under an indicator, but the indicator was right up to the end of my airflow velocity fly line, and as I said, 8-foot leader. Cast it out. Velocity lets me get out quite well, especially still recovering with my arm. That helped get a little bit of distance. The wind was coming in my direction, not very strongly, but it just like the indicator was coming towards me at a slow rate, and I just kept a slow figure of 8, keeping contact with it. And as soon as the indicator went down, struck into it and got a nice little fish on the end. I did switch between the flies. I put the vicar on the point, put the crispbag as a dropper. I just mixed it up during the day, but all I'd taken with me is a box of buzzers that I tied. Simple flies. Just a little bit of black thread, a little bit of white, size 12, size 10. Sounds a bit big, but it's a very thin fly, and all they're going to see is that colouring. I must say hi to one of my subscribers. You'll know who you are. Guy from the QLRs has an association with me. Bumped into him in the car park, he recognised me. I forgot to ask your name, but nice comments. I like the feedback, and as I say, I'm not here to teach you things. This is about me and my days out. And I love going out. I love meeting people like that, gentlemen. And I hope to see you in future. Fish were showing all over the place. Again, a lot of them were taking flies off the surface. And a lot of fish were swimming just in front of me, about 2.5 foot down. But talking with Andy once, he always said to me, don't try and get the fish on the top unless you've got a really thin leader. Here you need £8 minimum. If you drop down to 4 or 5, you need to play very, very carefully. He always said, don't go for the ones that you can see, go for the ones that's beneath them. And they could be another 8-9 foot down. So anyway, landed this one. Let's crack on to the next one.
Turn over, here we are. Right in. They are barbless. That's a decent one. Let him go. Off he goes.
So then it was a turn of the vicar fly, which was a dropper on this occasion because it was the same line, same setup. I'd not changed the flies round. So at about 3.5 foot, a nice blue hooked into the vicar fly and led me a merry dance for a couple of minutes. It was jumping, trying to get off to the left. I put in side strain on it left and right. I couldn't put too much on, still recovering with my arm, but it is getting better. And just played it along, hopefully not going to lose it. I thought it was bigger than what it was, because when it came out of the water at first, although this film is filmed in super view, which gives you a little bit of a wider view of the water rather than narrow or medium, it did look a bit of a chunky fish, and I thought, might be 5-6 pound, but it weighed in at 4. But I'm happy. A fly tied by me caught this very nice fish. I was hoping at this stage to get some action on the cheese and onion buzzers that did so well down at Scout Dyke Reservoir, the home of Barnsley Trout Club. I tried it for a little while, but no reaction whatsoever. The fish were not interested. Fished it at roughly 3 foot, and then a second one down to about 8 foot. Not a thing. And as I said, I only booked in for a few hours because of other things that were going on that day. Bit disappointed, but then again I know people that come here and all they will fish is small black buzzers at 2.5 foot, 3 foot under a strike indicator. sometimes their leader from the end of the fly line is no more than 5 foot, giving them that opportunity to either fish it at 2 foot, 3 foot, 4 foot. They don't have big 18-foot leaders, and I've seen these people drag out big fish. Everybody to his own. They eat them, I don't. I did keep one fish today, but that was as a gift to a friend of mine. Anyway, let's crack on to the next one.
A nice fighting fish. I'll keep that one.
So the next fish caught on a vicar buzzer, which you all have seen by now, but the best thing about this is I've got a sunray line on here. It was on a sale for about 25 quid. You get distance with it, but the rod in hand is nothing special. It's a 10 quid rod I bought off wish.com. At the very start of the pandemic, a lot of people were doing online shopping, and I'd seen all these advertisements about these rods, and I just wanted one, a nice little soft rod, and I got this, and I've caught countless fish on this rod. Now, it comes quite apparent because when I'd finished the day, I was talking to a gentleman in the hut, and he was thinking of starting fly fishing, and he was saying, oh, there's so many different rods, so many lines, so many flies. Well, you don't need to spend a fortune. The line is probably the most expensive thing here. I think the reel's about 11 quid, the line was 25 quid, and the rod was 10 quid. A little bit of fluorocarbon, decent fluorocarbon. This stuff is ghost. I love it. It's really good. And there you're off. And then he was talking about flies, what kind of flies to use. Well, at the end of this video, I found a fly on the floor, and I thought, well, the fish are topping all over the place. I haven't been targeting them, so using this certain fly, I targeted him, and wow, bang, got a nice fish out of that. But you don't need to spend a lot of money to start fly fishing. And this gentleman, he didn't even know how to cast, but he was enthusiastic. He even brought his binoculars with him to watch everyone. It wasn't strange, though, don't worry. He was just an enthusiastic courseman that was switching to the dark side. Well, looking down at my feet, in amongst the gravel, I saw a hedgehog fly, or a pennine biscuit as we call it. That gentleman, I'd advise him to practice playing fish and landing fish. Get a pennine biscuit or hedgehog fly on the end of a 10-foot leader, cast it out, preferably into some kind of wave or windy area. If you drop it onto still water, i.e. dead flat calm, your leader's going to give you away straight away unless you degrease it. But that is a good way of starting fly fishing. And at this place, this is what I used. I used these, and I used eggs. So I put it on the end of my fly line, cast it out, very slow figure of 8 in the wake and the little ripples on the water, and it wasn't too long. Fish took it. Fair enough, it was a stocky fish, but stockfish can go in there up to £8-9. It's a good starter fly to get into fly fishing. But anyway, thanks very much everybody for watching. Thanks for the likes, the feedback, and the emails. Get a few emails off people inquiring about certain flies. But I say, hey, don't worry, I'll send you some. 5 here, 5 there. Quite happy to help out. Quite happy to help people get into the sport. But that's enough from me till next time. See you around, everybody.
Alright, I'll let you out. I'll let you go. There you go.